kan akka baaftan sanii jenna isaan qarqaarti wanni nama gammaan baratin hin jenna akkasitti ilaalla kanaaf seminaar kan bannee jirra karaa seerqabeessatiin waan banamee fi seminaar nagaan mari'attee sana ta'uudha galatoomaadha for dear our guests I'm from pastoralist office that I'm head zonal head but now I'm just representing zonal administration.
Afriscout was started by an organization called Project Concern International. It's an international organization in many countries in the Asias, Africa, Americas. It has offices in Africa in Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia. That is Nairobi, Dar es Salaam, Addis Ababa. For the project specifically, Afriscout, we are in 3 countries. That is Tanzania, Kenya, and Ethiopia. In Tanzania, we are in 1 or 2 counties. In Ethiopia, we will be in 3 zones. That is Borana, Somali, and South Omo. For now, we have just started in Borana, like Michael said earlier, because some maps are already available. But the next step for us after this launch is to move to Somali region and South Omo region. Communities are going to benefit from Afriscout by having that accurate and time-sensitive information on the availability of water and pasture, as well as having other information such as diseases, conflicts, things that affect livestock. They get this information at the palm of their hands. That means the time that they used to use for scouting, looking for pasture, the effort and the investment they made in that will reduce, and they can use that time and effort for other economic activities. This also helps to reduce the effects of climate change, because as they are looking for pasture, grazing their animals in different areas, they don't overgraze, their livestock conditions improve, so many benefits that they'll get from the project. And I'm hoping that they'll embrace it as it has been embraced in Kenya. Very accurate. We have tested, like I said, we've started this in Kenya. This is the 4th year. We have tested it several times. We have tested it with the community several times. It gives very accurate information, and we always tell pastoralists, you don't have to believe it until you use it. So it will give them, if you go to the field where it's showing green, you'll find very good pasture. Where you see brown, you'll know that there's no pasture there. It's very accurate. And I'm calling to the pastoralists to test it for themselves, because we have tested it with other pastoralists in Kenya and Tanzania, and they've said it's accurate. I hope that the pastoralists here, the Borana, will also find it the same. Like I said, we started 4 years ago. Right now in Kenya, we have about slightly more than 12,000 users. And from our analysis, one user shares with about 7 other households. And each household is about 6 people. So if you do the maths, it's more than 100,000 people using the application. I think that's one of our biggest successes. Technical challenges, like any project, you get them. The biggest when we started in Kenya was lack of network. As you've seen, I've traveled to areas like Wachile, I've gone to Gucci, I've found the same problem. And I think with time, working with the government, these are some of the things that can be changed. Another challenge is lack of smartphones. Pastoralists sometimes, most of them do not have smartphones yet, or it's the younger people who have smartphones. So our strategy is to train both the older, if I might say that, older people and the younger people, so that the younger people who have smartphones can download the app and show it to the older people who have livestock. So those are the 2 main technical challenges that we have experienced. But we are working towards, mitigating such.
Today we're launching Afriscout in Borana. We're using existing community mapped areas to digitize and use satellite information which shows the current pasture condition. And today we aim to build awareness about Afriscout, to start educating community leaders about the use of Afriscout and the benefits of Afriscout. And this is to follow up on work we've done in the past several weeks in recruiting local promoters to go deep into rural communities and educate as many people as possible how to download the app, how to use the app, and how to allow Afriscout to improve their decision making with grazing. We would love to give out smartphones, but unfortunately that model doesn't work. We've tried and it doesn't work. So we need to wait for the market to develop, and people need to either use existing smartphones and share them, as we do in Kenya. So many people share one smartphone and they share that information from that smartphone. And I know Vodafone has recently come into Ethiopia to work with Ethio Telecom. So we're hoping that that can stimulate more the mobile network itself, as well as what we call smartphone penetration, the percentage of people who own smartphones. But this needs to happen naturally. It needs to be market driven, and people need to invest in their own smartphone in order to take good care of it. If we distribute phones, we found that the level of care is quite low, but if somebody invests their own resources into a phone, or if people work together to purchase one phone, 4,000 birr maybe for one smartphone, if that's split with 4 different herders, 6 different herders, it becomes achievable. This project goes until the end of 2024, that we have teams on the ground who are able to support, monitor, and adapt our approach as needed. We have a team called the CLA team, that's collaborating, learning, and adapting, and their focus is exactly on these issues of adapting our approach as we observe with the community. We also have a number of indicators that we watch, including number of people who are downloading the app, number of people who are benefiting from its use, and these are part of our annual review, and also every quarter, every 3 months, we look at these indicators to track our progress. So we have teams on the Afriscout team on the ground, as well as their network of agents and promoters. We'll proactively spend every working day on that to ensure people are using and benefiting from Afriscout. And we also have this internal quality assurance group through this collaborating, learning, adaptation, and monitoring and evaluation. So we have a very robust on-the-ground system 5 days a week to track and make sure that the app will be best put to use. After the project is over, from 2025, we hope by then it's mature enough and that community members can help one another to carry it on from there. Our project is RIPA, is Resilience in Pastoral Areas. Afriscout is one component, one part of this project. We also have disaster risk management activities that we work with the government on. We also have a program called Women Empowered, where we work with women's groups and communities to boost their existing activity. We also have a component of diversifying livelihoods to support people who may not raise animals to look into other businesses, such as gum and incense production, beekeeping, fodder production, vegetable production, fruit production. So we looking at diversifying livelihood opportunities. We also work with market systems, market actors, traders, transportation, veterinary service providers, to ensure that the market system supports the pastoralist way of life. And we're also working on nutrition to work with mothers groups, fathers groups, children's groups, grandmother groups to build demand for nutritious food, such as vegetables, fruits, eggs, to ensure that children are developing in a normal way and that they're well nourished. We have partners that we work with directly. Those are IDE and GOAL. And we also have a number of partners that we work with to collaborate with. We don't want to work in isolation. We're here to work hand in hand with the government, hand in hand with local NGOs, hand in hand with community groups. So part of our collaborating, learning, and adaptation function is to understand all of the actors, all of the NGOs and local NGOs, international NGOs, government bodies, local groups, community groups, to understand everybody who's working in the area and to our best ability to collaborate with them, so that if we know if they're doing one thing, we don't need to do that thing, but we can complement it with our activities. And that's a challenge because there's a lot of things happening. So we can't always be perfect with that. There might be some duplication of efforts, but we really try to avoid duplicating efforts and to maximize the impact of all of our collective efforts for all of the people working here towards the same cause. We're always striving to identify new opportunities to work with the community. RIPA is a 5-year program going until January 25. We're always proactively looking at other donor opportunities, primarily USAID, but also other donors who are aiming to support the type of work that we do. So that includes resilient wash activity that's coming. There's a pastoral health activity that's coming up. So we're always looking to complement these activities. Since we're here already, it makes sense to leverage our existing teams to bring in additional projects. But that said, our aim is community self-reliance. We don't want to be, we want the community to produce to abundance, to be so productive and not require any outside assistance. That's our objective. So maybe that won't happen by 2025, but the objective is, of every NGO, the objective is to make yourself irrelevant, because the community should be, driving their own self-reliance and producing to abundance without any thought of external assistance.
I wanted to emphasize that Afriscout is not coming to replace the traditional systems, because we know the traditional systems have been there for a long time and are really working. Our aim is to come in and complement the traditional system. How much more information can we offer pastoralists other than what they have currently, so that they can make better decisions? And for us to do that, we are working with the Abagada, we are working with the government officials, the development officials in the kebeles. We have people representing us in each and every kebele, at least in the Yabelo, Woreda. Our hope is to do the same in the other regions so that we achieve maximum impact for all pastoralists in Ethiopia. So for Borana, we already had the maps, like we have said. So it was easy for us to superimpose that with the NDVI data immediately. But in Somali and South Omo region, we'll have to start mapping, which takes a bit of time. So you're giving us ourselves a time of 6 months or so to do the mapping, because we have to involve all stakeholders. We have to involve the community themselves. We have to do to have talks with the government and neighboring communities so that we don't bring conflict. It's a very comprehensive procedure. So we're giving ourselves about 6 months or so to finish the mapping in this region, so that we'll be able to provide. Apart from mapping, we have to recruit people too, and that takes time because you have to look for the correct people. So by next year, let's say next year, March, we should be able to be active in these regions. Yeah, thank you. Now in Swahili. Asante sana kwa interview hii. Tuko hapa leo kuanzisha hii program inaitwa Afriscout. Afriscout ni app ambayo inasaidia wafugaji kutafuta ama kuona wapi kuna maji na nyasi ukitumia simu kama hii ya touch. Afriscout ni app ambayo imetengenezwa na wafugaji ili kusaidia wafugaji, na inasaidia mambo yenye imeletwa na climate change, ambayo imefanya wafugaji, imekuwa ngumu sana wafugaji kuweza kupata ama kutumia mbinu zao za kitambo ili kutafuta maji na nyasi. So Afriscout inakuja kusaidia hivyo kwa kupatiana information ambayo ni tayari na imedhibitishwa. Hiyo ndo tumekuja kufanya hapa leo. Tuko hapa Borana Baadaye hapa Ethiopia tutaelekea area ya Somali na South Omo. But Afriscout si mpya, si geni, ni project ambayo imekuwa Kenya na Tanzania. Kenya imekuwa kwa miaka 4. Na tunatumia funzo ambazo tumepata kutoka Kenya na Tanzania ili kufanya Afriscout iwe hata better zaidi hapa Ethiopia. So tunakaribisha wafugaji wote waungane na sisi kwa sababu lengo letu si kubadilisha mitindo zao za kitambo, but kutumia hizo mitindo na kuongezea teknolojia ili kufanya iwe better, iwe vema zaidi. Hii teknolojia ni rahisi sana kwa sababu tunatumia rangi na alama zile ambazo wafugaji wanaelewa. Kwa mfano mfugaji akitaka kujua wapi kuna nyasi, si lazima akuwe anajua kusoma, anaweza angalia kwa hiyo map, anaona mahali penye rangi ya green, kijani kibichi, anajua hapa kuna nyasi mingi. Alafu pia akiona mahali kuna manjano, anajua hapa nyasi iko lakini ni kidogo sana. Alafu mahali ni brown, rangi ya mchanga, anajua nyasi hakuna. Pia tunatumia alama zingine kama magonjwa ya ng'ombe. Tunatumia alama kuonesha alama ya kichwa ya ng'ombe ambayo ni nyekundu. Hiyo anajua hapo hivyo kuna hatari, kuna ugonjwa wa ng'ombe. Sasa ni rahisi sana kwa mfugaji yote, whether amesoma ama hajasoma, anaweza tumia hiyo application kwa rahisi sana.